I am just gonna get myself comfortable while I ooze into my office chair here. So, you guys wanted to know about PPPoE, and you know what? There's a few ways to set it up. Personally, I prefer not to use it. I like using DHCP and reserving PPPoE for when it's really needed, just when you really need it. But, yeah, whatever, who am I to say? So, first things first, this is, we're back in GNS3, which is really handy. And I've got my little dummy gateway router here, which is a virtual machine. And then I've got my client router right here, which is going to be the PPPoE client. So, let's hop onto this router here by pulling up Winbox. Yay! Alright, so what do we got here? I've got my CHR right here. Let's log into it. Let's move this one out of the way for now. Yes, I am tired. I don't know why I am so tired. I've just been really, really tired lately. 2 weeks, I haven't made any new content because I've been sleepy as hell. Sleeping a lot. So here we go. We're going into the main router here, the little gateway router. By the way, just ignore the firmware version on it because, dude, like seriously. This is, actually I wonder if I can update that. Can I? Can I update the image? There's no point. This is just CHR. I can download a new image and update it sometime, but whatever. So, let's take a look at this thing. So, we're gonna look at, we've got our little things going on in here like we typically do. I created a GNS, or a little tunnel in here. I'm just gonna make this simplified, okay? So, with PPPoE is a layer 2 protocol, okay? And you don't necessarily need DHCP on it, or on the interface that it's on, so it's really good as a security measure, which is why people love it so much, because you can have a bridge like this, and on your last mile bridge, you can say, get rid of the, see here, the customer NAT, turn it off like so, and you can get rid of the DHCP server, like so, and then you can put your PPPoE server on here, and go to town. Now, let's just see here, so, there's port 5, that's what we're going to be using, alright, so, with PPPoE, it's really not that complicated, so I'm going to go to PPP first, okay? Might as well just maximize this, alright, I'm going to bring it down lower because I am slouched in my chair like some kind of a large mammal, which actually is kind of ironic, because I'm actually losing weight, which I'm kind of cool with that. So, first of all, let's go over here to PPPoE servers, okay? Now, I've already created one server, alright? And as you can see here, I've got a default profile and stuff like that. So this is our PPP server. I'll just create a new one for you, like so, watch. So I'm under PPPoE servers, and here we go. I'm gonna create a new one, PPPoE server. Here we go, and we're gonna stick it on the last mile bridge interface like so, neat, eh? And we're gonna set this for 1480 because we wanna give the TCP stream, like the packets, enough room for their tag and garbage information that goes on top of it, okay? All right, and just by default, I'm gonna put them on the 10 by 50 package here. Now, I'm not too concerned about security in this case for this little tunnel because it's still within our network, okay? So I'm just gonna save this one. So there's our interface, there's our server, right? Now let's go and make some profiles. Okay, so I've already got one here. Okay, so we've got our little profile here, and what I'm doing is I'm actually, I've got a pool here, an IP pool, all right? Just called Customer NAT, CXNAT, yay. See, so I've just given it a specific IP range that it's allowed to take from, okay? So this knows that it can use an IP from this pool for both the local and the remote IP. Local being the IP of the tunnel on this side, like, so basically PPPoE is kind of like a VPN, I guess you could say, okay? So there's two sides to the tunnel to make this shit work. So on this side here, this is your local side. On the customer side, that's the remote side. So basically, it's gonna just pick a random IP out of the IP pool CXNet for that, okay? All right, so we've got our 50 meg pool. Now let's create another pool. So I'm just gonna pull this up and let's just call this one, let's see.
2,000 years later.
PPPoE 100 by 25. Okay, just arbitrarily, I'm gonna choose my IP pool here. Okay, IP pool. All right. And what protocols? We don't really need to mess with any of this, right? Although, I do want to put some speeds on here. So for these guys here, I'm going to show you an example on the other one here before we do this. So I've got the limits on this one set for 10 by 50. So this is your ingress and this is your egress. So upload, download, okay? So we're going to do this now. Watch. So 100 capital M by 25. Or sorry, I did that backwards. Ha 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 ha. 25M-100M. So that's 25 megs by 100 megs, okay? See what I just did there? And okay, so we've got another profile on here. Yay. Now, a little something which I should point out here, by the way, is the only one we could say yes, so that this, when somebody is using this profile, they can only run one session per. So this way, you know, you can't have multiple sessions per user account, okay? Now let's create another one, just for example purposes. I'm gonna call this one, let's see here, PPPoE, and what are we gonna call this one? Let's do 250 by, let's say, 75. Yeah? Does that sound good? Alright, so once again, we're gonna go below being the upload, 75 meg by 250 meg. There we go. Okay, so there's our profile. Okay. Oh, do you see something wrong here? You see something wrong? Oh, look, there's like a consistency error here because I didn't add the pool. So we need our IP pool here, right? Yeah, let's see here. Limits. Only one, yes. Okay. So now we've got some pools to choose from, okay? We've got some speeds to choose from, some packages here, I guess you could say, right? We need to create some secrets. So I'm gonna create a secret here. We're gonna call it Tito Taco Destroyer, and we're gonna make this. We'll just put for password. We'll put password, okay? And service, we're gonna choose PPPoE only because you know this is the customer, by the way. We only want them, you know, using the PPPoE. And profile, this is where we can choose their speed. So why don't we give Tito, you know what, we like Tito, so Tito's gonna get 250. So I'm just choosing the profile like so. Okay, so now, let's create another profile. Let's call it Mary Contrary. We don't like Mary. She's a bit of a cunt, so we're gonna give her like the 10 meg package, right? Now let's go to the next one. Who can we make this? We can make this Donovan Engels. Alright, so Donovan's cool, but yeah, he's like, well, he's conservative and he doesn't really think that he needs too much, so 100 by 25 is good for him, okay? Alright, password. There we go. Okay, so you got your profiles. I'm gonna put, give Mary a password here. Alright, so now we've got our user profiles up here. And by the way, I should show you another little trick. And don't leave this on. If you go up to settings and go hide password, you can actually show the password. See that? The password's revealed. Kind of cool, kind of handy, eh? I'm gonna sit up now because my back's getting shitty. Alright, so you can see the profiles here. And over here you've got active connections for people who are actually active. Isn't that neato? Yeah. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I should probably just go back over to the IP pool here and just show you how to make one. You should already know how to do this out of my previous videos. So you go into the IP pool, you give it a name, test pool, and you give it a range. I'll put something in here you guys will recognize, but you want to typically stay within a 10 or 100 range for this. So 192.168.0.1, or sorry, we want to start at 2 because 1's the gateway, dash 192.168.0.254, because 254 is the last usable. We hit OK. There's your pool. All right, but I'm pretty sure I've shown you guys how to make pools before, okay? All right, so we've got this in place now. All this stuff is cool in here. So here's where you add your radius under PPP authentication and accounting, but you don't necessarily need to add radius in the case of, you know, if you're just a small ISP. Oh my God, I need a fucking radius server. Where am I gonna get the money for a radius server? Oh my God, I need to sell my Pinto. No, and by the way, I'm gonna be doing a video that explains what you guys can use as temporary servers while you're getting up and running, because I'm not a big fan of using cloud-based services, okay? So here we go. We've got our PPPoE server. We've got our secrets, which are the customer profiles essentially. And then we've got our speed limits, our speed profiles here, right? Now, we need to watch the magic happen. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna open up queues, and you're gonna see queues pop into place as we program. So now I need to get access to the other router. So I'm just gonna enable roam on here, right? There we go. And I will be doing another video showing you how to use roam on, so don't get your panties in a knot, okay? So I'm just gonna console into this guy here for a second. Alright, admin, no password. Yes, I agree. Quit, whatever. Okay, set, tools, roam on, set, enabled, equals, yes, enter. Okay, and we're gonna call this one, let's go system, identity, set, name, equals. Let's make this one Tito. Tito! Cold beans. Alright, so there. We got Tito all set up. Romon's enabled. Yay! Okay, so since Tito's first, I'll make Tito right here. And in fact, why don't I just rename this to Tito? Tito the Taco Destroyer. I'm gonna add a cable here, by the way, from interface 1 on here to interface 5 on here. Cool. And now I should be able to go back over to this. And I'm going to open Winbox, and I am going to click on my CHR here, but this time I'm going to click on Connect to Roman, and that should show me the other router. And it does. There's Tito. Alright, so let's bring up Tito here, and I'm just going to drag this off to another window like a cougar dragging a jogger into the woods. Okay, and we got this. We got this now. So let's set up a PPPoE interface here, okay? So I'm going to go, and by the way, this is kind of the same thing you would do on a customer's router, like a D-Link or a TP-Link or a D-Link or a Netgear or a D-Link or a Linksys or some, what? D-Link sucks. Alright, so we're going to go PPPoE client, okay? And we're going to call this one, let's see here, where's our dial out? See, this is all of our shit in here, right? So we're going to call this one Happy, Merry, High Speed. Yay, it's happy. It's on interface 1. Dial out. Well, we can do a PPPoE scan and we should see some shit in here, okay? We should actually see the PPPoE server. See, there it is right there. Which is, by the way, kind of cool if you need to troubleshoot shit. Alright, so we've got this. We can see the server. I'm just gonna hit close. We know that it works, okay? So now we need to put the username in here, right? So I better go over to my secrets here because I made these names friggin' impossible. I'm just gonna copy, and I'm gonna go over here to user and paste it. We know that the username's password. Yeah, because I made the security really heavy, and I should be able to hit apply. Link established. All right. So this thing's all configured. We've got add default route on the mikrotik. So I guess you're learning how to set up a PPPoE client on a mikrotik at the same time. Why? Because I'm too freaking lazy to get the UIP tunnel going so I can do a Linksys router and log in with a pretty interface for you folks. So there we go. Status, it's established. See how it's got 2 IPs from that pool, right? 1 and 2. And this is technically a /31, by the way, which is fucking cool. So you're not using up 4 IPs like you would in a normal broadcast domain, you know, a minimum 4 IPs, 2 usable, and then your network and all that crap, right? So that stuff's in there, all right? Now, let's take a look here. So we've got our IP addresses. This is our default, well, this is the IP address for our interface here. As you can see, once again, /31. If we go to IP routes, you will see that there is a default route in there. Isn't that cool? And as far as DNS is concerned, whatever. It's not getting a DNS server. Why? Because I told it not to pull one. So let me just double check on the setting here. Dial out. Use pure DNS. There we go. So now I can go to DNS and it should have one. Let me just turn this off. Oh, you know what? That's my bad. Hold on, let me go back over here for a second to the PPPoE server. Last mile. There is a setting in here for DNS that I missed, didn't I? Where is that DNS rule? Let's see your profile. Let's see, protocols, general. Ah, there it is, DNS server. Sorry about that. Now, I do believe that I can put that under the parent too, by the way. So if I go to the PPPoE server, there should be, no, I guess there's not. Okay, so we have to do that under the profile. So I'm just gonna go through these again. DNS server, 1.1.1.1. There we go. 1.1.1.1. And by the way, of course, because this becomes an interface, an active interface on here, as you can see, you also have the ability to set up client isolation in these guys too. So you look over here on interfaces, this actually shows up as an interface here, okay? Neat, isn't it? Isn't that neat? You like that? But if you take a look at something here, you're not going to see it in here because it doesn't exist in there, right? But you can also go in here, you can lock this shit down. You just, let's go to profiles. Okay, so you can set a horizon on the bridge if you make this thing part of a bridge, which we're not, we're doing tunnels, okay? So there, we've added our DNS. Okay, let's go back over to Tito's router before I explain the rest of the PPPoE, because I really wanted to show you guys the DNS population here, so there we go. Okay, so this is connected. It should be, there we go. See, there's your DNS server. Yay! Cloudflare, we love you so much. You are our God and Savior and Mother Mary, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so that's in place now. There's your PPPoE session active. Now, let's go over here and see what happens on the main router, okay, on the server per se. So this has generated a queue entry, okay? Isn't that neat? So when this session is active, you will see your queue entry right here. So if we look at that, 75 meg by 250 meg. Am I going to do a speed test on that? No, because with the CHR instances within GNS3, you typically are limited to 1 megabit per second. All right, so let's look at all the cool little parameters in this active session. Look, name, target, yay. There's your speeds. There you go. Stats, traffic, total, Total stats. Okay, kind of cool. So basically what this thing has done is it has actually created a queue entry for you. So now if I bring up the other router again for a second, right? Let's turn it off. We'll kill the PPPoE session. See, it's gone, right? Now I bring it back. There you go. So it actually generates that for you. And there we go. Here's our IPs because I think I've exhausted a few already. So yeah, and this thing of course puts in the default route for you in the routing table here. See, DAS. What does DAS mean, you ask? Dynamic, active, static. Yeah, that's that's cool. Dynamic and static at the same time. Holy shit, that blows my mind. And going back over here, here's our DNS. Yay. Now I don't know if I've got I don't know if I've got a NAT rule in here, but oh, it looks like I do. So let's see if I can ping out to the internet on here. Oh look, it's got internet access. Wow. And let's pull up a terminal here and yay, it works. Huh, cool. I think Google's IP changed. All right, so there's our first session, okay? So I've just demonstrated that for you. All right, so now let's get rid of 2 out here. And let's do that again. So we've got our 1 session in here. And by the way, something to note as well is see the target, it's actually targeting the interface and not the IP. And if you actually go to active connections here now, you can actually see, here we go, Tito's IP addresses. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Yay. See, here's his IP address. Cool. All right, and actually, if you look under interfaces, you should also see him down here. See? Cool, eh? That's all created by your PPPoE. And this is one of the ways that I like to distribute public IPs to customers on a network, because then you can float your IPs on the network as a /32 and save your IP space if you've only got something teeny tiny like a /24 or less in your possession, okay? So now let's create another router, okay? Here we go. Another router, another router, another router, another router. Yep, GNS3. There we go. So now let's create another router here. Ow, there we go. Drag you over here, and we'll make this one Mary Contrary. Let's call you Mary. There's something about Mary. It's not that she's at the door of some dude with cum hanging from his ear. My cat's starting to howl. Awesome timing. Quiet all day, and now she decides to howl. Here we go. 4, 2, 1. There we go. We can bring this online, and now that it's booting up, I'm gonna uncheck the cable here, and I'm gonna go configure, or whoops, I don't mean configure. Stop distracting me, cat. Console. ADHD is a brutal, horrible thing. I'm going to eat you. All right, so this thing's booting. Once again, I'm gonna enable Roman on it, like so. No, don't care. Okay, system, identity, let's see here, name, name equals Mary. Okay, now we're gonna enable Roman. So tool, Roman, set, enabled, yes. You know, I just realized I should probably do a video on how to use console on these things, right? Yeah, come here. Over here, you monster. So there's Mary now showing up in Roman, so I'm gonna open up her router. Whatever happened to Mary? Here we go. If you ever listen to Chumbawamba, you would know that song, and you would know that it is an epic song. So there's Mary. There's our main router. Where is it? Right there. That's right. Okay, so now let's program Mary once again. Ha ha ha. And actually, I want to try a little experiment here. We want to see something cool. Let's do a little test. So I'm gonna go to the last mile interface, and let's see what happens if I set up or disable ARP on here. Isn't that cool? So now let me kick this user, and look, they came back up, and there's no layer 2. Isn't that neat? Isn't that so cool? This is how you secure your stuff. See, we've got ARP disabled on the last mile interface right now. There's no ARP. So yeah, the communications between PPPoE server and client is happening magically. And if somebody plugged into this, they're not gonna get a DHCP IP at all, by the way. So, all right. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to secrets and let's add Mary Contrary. Yay. And she's on the 10 meg package. That's because we don't like you, Mary. You're mean. You really should have poisoned those school kids. Okay, so here we go. So PPPoE, we're gonna create an interface again. There we go. We want PPPoE client. All right, we're gonna call this one, Bob's High Speed and Food Truck. Here we go. All right, we're gonna go to dial out. And once again, I'm just gonna show you, I'm gonna do a little PPPoE scan here because that's friggin' cool, isn't it? You can click on that and see your PPPoE server. Yay! Here's our username. Password is password because who cares about security? Use peer DNS and apply. So now we can see that the session is active, and we're going to go back over to IP routes, and you will see that default routes in place, DNS is in place, okay? So this one's connected. Now let's go over here again, and look, notice that she is using this profile, the 10 by 50 profile. She has 50 megs down, and she is getting 10 megabits up. Yay. See, there's all your cool info about it. And if we go to interfaces here, you will now see a second interface. Very contrary. Let's jump on it again. Okay. Status. Look, here's the IPs that they're using for their tunnel, right? Caller ID, Mary, how long she's been up. Here's her traffic and accumulations and whatnot. Very, very cool. And now let's do one last example. And before I do that, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not running out of ports. 543, yay, they're there. Okay, so now let's do Donovan Ingalls. All right, Donovan, you're a professional. You don't need much, you know, in the line of a crazy internet connection because you're not really a gamer or anything. You just like to come home, kick back, and watch Netflix sometimes, right? Netflix and chill? Yeah? Is that what you're all about, buddy, huh? All right, so let's configure this and we'll call this Donovan. Who cares if I just messed up the spelling? I don't. All right, so there we go. So we've got Donovan here. All right, Donovan is active. Let's open the console for him. Oh, no, he's not active. Let's start that. Right click, start. Give it a second. I'm gonna move Tito over here. I'm gonna move Mary like so, and then I will put Donovan like so. I need a snap grid. This is killing my OCD. Do we have snap grid here? Do I have grid? Snap to grid, thank you. What the hell? This thing's on crack like my cat is. There we go. So now, let's log out of the console on here.
Thousands of tears later.
And the cat won't come back. Alright, admin. No. Alright, there we go. So let's give this one a name now. So we're gonna call this one System Identity Toaster. Because why not? Toaster sex. Cool. Alright, now we're gonna enable Roman tool. Roman set enable equals yes. Alright, now we're done with console. Bye console. Let's bring up our primary window again. And we will now go to Winbox, where I will pull up. Should be showing up. Oh, yeah. You know what I forgot to do here? Thanks, Cat, for distracting me. There's no cable. How the hell is this supposed to work if there's no cable? Ethernet 1 to Ethernet 3. Look at that. It's all graceful and shit. Yeah, like Mama taught me. Alright, there we go. Toaster sex. Let's bring you up now, buddy. Talking about toaster sex. Toaster sex. Yeah. Alright. So let's add our... Oh, great. Now we've got the fruit flies. Yay. Alright, so let's create our PPPoE client again. And this is going to be... Bob the Butcher is going to be our internet connection on Ethernet 1. Dial out. Put our username in here. Put our username in here. Put our username in... Ah, fuck you. Alright, so... let's see here. Donovan Angles. Copy. You and your stupid copy-paste quirk. There we go. Now we're going to use pure DNS. We've got our add default route. We're just going to hit apply and see what happens. Oh, look, another interface has established itself. Okay, so we've got our IPs for the tunnel, local and remote. Yeah, cool, eh? And this guy's online. Now, if we go back over here, we can see that a third tunnel's in place. And if you look, their speed is throttled automatically for you. Why? Because you've got them on their package, like on their profile that they're supposed to have. So as you can see, this saves you tons of time because you don't have to go in and traffic shape every friggin' person. It's just as easy as setting up a few profiles, letting people connect, and away you go. Pretty cool, eh? Yeah, there's not much to it. PPPoE on these routers is extremely easy, and you don't need a radius server if you're small. Realistically, you're going to want to have a radius server at some point for customer accounting and keeping track of things and all that wonderful stuff, but we'll get into radius another day. In the meantime here, look, you've got your tunnels, everything's established. It's pretty simple to set that up again, okay? And just for the sakes of shits and giggles, I'm going to set up another PPPoE server on this client router. So we're going to use Toaster Sex to create a brand new PPPoE server. So I'm going to go to my bridge here, and we're just going to create a random bridge and call it last mile. Okay, we're not going to put anything on here, by the way. I'm not going to put any interfaces in here. Yes, I am. I'm going to stick one. So I'm going to stick interface 5 on here for shits and gigs. Okay, now we can disable ARP if we really want to. Yay. And by the way, there's lots of really cool things you can do with this, but I'm not going to get into that today because I'm just teaching you the basics. Okay, so we've got our bridge. Now let's go to PPP. Yay. Okay, we're going to go to profiles, and we're just going to create a profile. We're going to call this one, let's see here, 25 by 5. Okay. Oh, but we can't do anything because there's no IP pool here yet, right? Back it up. IP pool. Create a pool. IP pool. For Christ's sake. Okay, and we'll go. Let's just use a, let's see here, 100.73.0.2 through 100.73.2.254. Yay. Okay, so we've got our IP pool here now. We're gonna move that up top so you can see it. We could probably make this just a wee bit smaller. My cat is losing her mind. Please, somebody, let me borrow your male cat. All right, so now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna do this again. 25 by 5, right? Local address, we're gonna pick the IP pool. Remote address, pick the IP pool. Yay. DNS server, 1.1.1.1. Oh, I want to add a second DNS just in case. 8.8.8.8. Oh, look, a Win server. Yay. Are you as much of a sociopath as they think you are, and you're going to do this in your own home and put all of your home computers on PPPoE? Maybe. All right, so rate limit. All right, so what did we say here? This is 25 by 5, so 5 meg by 25 meg. Upload first, then download. Only one, yes. Okay. See, and there's all sorts of crazy shit that you can do in here, right? All right. So we've got this one on here, right? Okay, and now we're gonna create another one. All right, why not? So let's make this one 50 by 10. Okay, and we're gonna put our DNS in. We're gonna put our DNS in again. Here we go. Limits. Let's see here, 10 meg by 50 meg. Right. There we go. And actually, what I should do, can I hover over you? Or are you gonna can I hover over you? Are you gonna do that for me? No, you're not. There we go. So we've got our profiles here. Okay, so there's 2 profiles we've created. Yay. And then for the user accounts, you create the user accounts here. You simply click on the plus. Tito, the taco destroyer goes here. Password. Actually, why don't we make it mayonnaise? There we go. Service, we only want them accessing PPPoE and whatever profile you choose to give to them. It's as simple as that. You hit OK. Done. Just like that. And the rest is done on the other end. It's pretty simple, really, to set up a PPPoE server. So I hope you appreciate that. And in fact, just for the sake of thoroughness, I'm just going to check one little thing, just to make sure that I'm not a crackhead. Okay, so PPP profile. Let's bring up the manual here. All right, PPP profile. And we should be able to find some examples in here, eh? Oh, look, they use a web browser. We're using Google. Here we go, manual interface, PPP. Here we go. Now my other cat's going insane. Let's see here, PPP server setup, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if I'll end up redoing this video. If you watched the video and you didn't hear me say that, then I still use the original. Access concentrator, here we go. Where's our profile? Default profile. Where's our profile setup? Here's all the shit on here. This is a beautiful thing about Google, by the way. And it shows you all the stuff that you want to know, right? Here we go. Where's the profile example? Not in there. Let's see here, example. Here we go. User manager, PPP server. PPPoE server with profiles. There we go. Only one default. All right, so are you gonna explain what that does? Here we go. Nope, not really. Whatever. Anyway, back to the point. I'm done. You just saw how to set up a PPPoE server on a mikrotik without radius. Okay, it's not that difficult. It really is not. And if you screw around with it enough, you will master the process, okay? So, thanks for watching. I hope that was insightful and taught you guys stuff. And, yes, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we have a Patreon as well, where for $3 a month, you can help feed us and help pay for the videos. And on our Patreon, don't forget, we've got a lot of content on there that's higher level learning, like advanced routing and what that's not actually publicly accessible, and even the most basic Patreon user will have ad-free content. So it's a neat little community on there as well. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yes, I will probably do another video with more Lee stuff, okay? But everybody's asking, how do I really easily set up PPPoE? How do I do this? Is there an easy way to do it? That's the easy way to do it. It's done. Okay? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great night. Bye.